All right. Here we go. So, this is BudgetAxe. The website is budgetaxe.com. It's something I made to initially was made to help my mom out because I think she struggles with understanding how much money she's spending a month on her stuff and how much she should be spending a day on essential things like food and gas. So that's kind of what the motivation was to get this started. Um, So I'm going to go through real quick. Since this is our first stream ever, I'm just going to kind of go through the basic stuff of it, kind of like the features and the functions, and we'll go through some of the settings and things like that. If we have time at the end, we may do like a quick little like demo budget, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm assuming I'll have probably like 0 viewers for this, which is fine. This is all just practice. Maybe one day we'll have lots, but yeah, this is the thing I made. It's budgetaxe.com. It doesn't require any accounts, usernames, passwords, or emails, or nothing like that. So you don't need to worry about giving your email or anything personal. So first thing you'll want to do is go to budgetaxe.com. There's a couple ways to launch it. You can either click the Launch BudgetAxe button up here, this one here, or you can click this button. We'll just click this guy here. The first time you open it, it will have a short little loading screen that you saw there, which you can skip that, and we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, the first time you go to the actual app itself, this is what you're gonna see. Um, it should ask you what your if you can share your location the first time you get there. And the reason why it's asking for the location is just so it can get some temperature, like weather data from your area. So if you want to have weather on your app, then I would recommend just clicking allow, and that way you can get the weather. Otherwise, this will not be shown here, the 7-day forecast or the current temperature up here. The first thing you might notice is down here on the right, you'll see this little pulsing thing. It's just basically saying that we suggest setting BudgetAxe as your homepage. That way, every time you open up your web browser, Chrome, Edge, or Safari, or whatever browser you're using, BudgetAxe will be the first thing that you see. And you'd want to homepage the app, not the .com itself. You'd want to make sure it was budgetaxe.com/app. And the reason why I think it's a good idea to make this your homepage, not only just to keep your money at the forefront of your mind, so you're never going negative on monthlies balances, but you can also see your daily weather, and you can also add quick links in here too. So this not only does it work as a kind of a budget dashboard, it also works as like a weather thing and places where you can put your quick links. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Right. So I first thing I like to do when I get is kind of customize how this looks, right? One thing that's nice about BudgetAxe is it's very customizable and it's still in constant development. So this isn't the final version of this. This is just like, um, oh, hold on one sec. I'm gonna pause this. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. What the motivation was to get this started. Test one, two, test one, two. All right, sorry. So, like I was saying, BudgetAxe is very customizable. The first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to hide the calculator here. Gonna kind of collapse some of these things just to make it a little bit less noisy. I'm also going to change the color here. So one cool thing, you can kind of change the color scheme for your app. We got sports teams in here. We got baseball, basketball, football, and I think we have got hockey as well. Personally, I like the sunset one with light mode. I think that looks kind of nice. But I am a Mariner fan, so we're gonna put the Seattle Mariners on there. I should also mention this is where you can like show and hide the calculator if you want. So we're gonna hide that. We're also gonna click skip loading screen here. That way, the next time we get into it, it's not gonna have like that loading, quick little loading screen thing. It's gonna skip that. This right here is for the income, expense, and savings buttons. You can put it to the right, center, or left. I think I like it in the center, and that looks good there. Then from the top bar, this is all just, you can show and hide the calendar, temperature, time, and all this stuff up here on the top bar. You can hide or show all this stuff if you want to. You can also change how the time works, or how the time is displayed, I should say. And you can hide or show the 7-day forecast, and so on and so forth. I should mention there are a couple bugs, and you might see a couple as we go along here. They're all being worked on. One bug that I just saw right now is the 7-day forecast. For some reason, if for the first time, if you come to the website, you go to settings, and if you go directly to here and show or try to toggle this, it won't work until you like try to toggle something else on and off. So like if we went to the show calculator thing and toggled this on and off and then went back to the weather, then this would work. I'm still trying to figure out why that's happening, but that's just one example of a bug that's happening. There's not too many bugs, to be honest, but there are a few, but they are being worked on. Great. So we'll get back to the settings here. The first thing here is just the about, just kind of shows some brief information about who this was created by, some disclaimers, and if you find any bugs, you can send an email to our support email, which is down here, support@budgetaxe.com. Our last patch was June 5th, so it was about 2 weeks ago. We'll probably be having a new patch for the beginning of July. We usually release one patch at the beginning of every month. So the next patch will probably be first week of July to update some bugs, maybe add some features, and yeah. Next is data management, and this is just showing how to back up and restore your data. So the data that you're going to put in here is going to be stored locally in your browser. So there's no that's one of the nice things about not having to give your email or create an account or anything like that. You can just have all of your data here, right? And I guess there's pros and cons to that. One of the cons is if you use a different browser, your data will not be transferred over. So for example, if you have your computer and you put all of your data in on your computer for BudgetAxe, and then if you go on your phone and you go to BudgetAxe on your phone, that data won't transfer over. It'll be like a fresh new thing. If we get enough users, if we get enough monthly users, we probably will eventually add an account feature just so you can have consistency across all of your devices. But now since we're small, we're just going to keep it as it is. But anyway, this is where you are going to export and import your data. So I would recommend doing this, you know, often. Maybe every time you make a change in here, I would do an export. You don't have to, but it's just recommended. Um, and then reset data. If you want to just completely start fresh, you can click this button and it'll refresh and delete all the data. And you click that, and then you would type in all caps reset. And make sure you do all caps. If you do lowercase, it will not work. So yeah, we just did a complete refresh. And next one is display. I think we already went through that one. Then we got the income, expenses, and saving, which are like the three main columns here. So that's going to be, this first column is going to be your income, second one's going to be expenses, and then your third one down here is going to be savings. And then right here will show the difference between everything. You can make some changes to this. So I have food and gas and subscriptions automatically added onto this just because I think those are staples that pretty much everyone has. But if you don't want it like that, you can, toggle these on or off if you'd like to. Same things with the loan section. You can hide all this stuff in expenses and you can just have a very basic expense setup if you'd like. But we're going to keep all these on for now. And then in savings, for now, we just have the ability to toggle the goals section on and off. And we'll keep that one on for now. Next is privacy mode, which is a feature that we added for BudgetAxe. So if you hit Control P on your keyboard, it's going to blur out all of the data on there. So like we were saying earlier, if you make this your home page, you can start with privacy mode on. So that way, if, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you have, for whatever reason, you want to hide your budgeting stuff, you can hide it. You can also change the shortcut key. If you don't want it to be Control P, you can change that there. You can also, have it start with privacy mode turned on, or you can have the privacy button be hidden or shown, which if you see here in the bottom left is where the privacy button is, and that will also toggle the privacy mode. I'm going to go ahead and we'll leave that on. Why not? Last setting here is the snapshot ticker. That's going to be this guy right here at the top that has the scrolling data information. You can choose to hide or show that. You can make the speed go a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and you can also kind of customize what type of information is shown up there. Eventually, we're going to be adding stock, what are they called? The symbols, the ticker symbols. So like you'll be able to put your stocks in here and kind of see how they're doing for the day, if they're up or down. That's going to be something that we'll add in at a later patch, maybe in the July patch. We'll see. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the settings. You can also search settings here as well. So if you type in weather, it should highlight. See, this is highlighted here, weather. Think anywhere, and then this is highlighted here, weather. I need to fix the search a little bit, but it should highlight whatever you type up there. Also, we have a expand all, collapse all button here too. I think that's about everything with the settings. Let's see. We also have a calendar, which as we add data, you'll see that little icons will pop up on here to kind of remind you of when you're going to have payments for whatever expenses you add. And alerts and reminders are whenever it is the day of a expense, this will flash and kind of remind you that, hey, today you will have an expense happen. Keep in mind, none of this stuff, this isn't controlling your money or making the payments automatically. That you still have to make those. This is just like a dashboard to just get an idea of how much you can spend daily on like food and gas, and just fun money. So I think we are probably at the time where we can add some income or add some data. So the first thing that we'll do, we'll pretend that we're a fresh out of college student who just got hired at, we'll say we're an IT student and we just got hired at a local MSP. We're a help desk technician. We get our first paycheck and it is, we'll say $2,500. So we're going to come in here. We can, there's a couple different ways you can add income. If you don't have any data, there will be these add buttons right here. Once you add data, this will go away. You can also hit F1. That will also allow you to add income, or you can click income as well. So any of these three ways you can add. For now, we'll just hit F1. We have a couple different income categories here, and you can take a look at those on your own time, but for now, we will do job and paycheck. The payment date, we'll say we got hired on the 18th, right? So our first paycheck, we'll say, is going to be on the 26th. We'll say it's bi-weekly, and what did I say, $2,500. You can add a URL here if you have like a bank that it gets deposited to. I would recommend adding a link to that bank here. Just to show you what it looks like, we'll put like bankofamerica.com in here, and we'll save that. So as you can see, it is now adding income. Now, because of when we added the paycheck and when we were hired, we're only getting one paycheck this month, so our monthly income is only going to show 2,500. Next month in July, we will get paid. Let's see, we should be getting paid twice, so this will be changed to 5,000 next month. And if you can see here, first it adds the Bank of America logo because that's the we put a URL there. If we don't have a URL there, I believe the icon just goes away, right? Bankofamerica.com. Okay. And just for this demonstration, I'm going to actually change this to say that our first payment day was on the 12th. That way it'll actually show that we're getting our full month. So $5,000 a month is what we're getting with our $2,500 a month or bi-weekly paycheck. Right. So let's say our parents, we're not one of those fortunate kids who their parents have a bunch of money and they're like, hey, here's a free car. We're a broke first generation college grad student and we have to buy our own car, right? So we're going to go out and get a car loan. So we are going to add a loan here. We'll just click this button, add loan. The loan name, we'll call it car loan. You can name it whatever you want. We'll just say it's a Toyota RAV4. Not sponsored by them, obviously. Total loan amount, we'll say that it was 20,000. We have $0 paid. The monthly payment we agreed on is going to be we'll say $275 a month at an interest rate of, we'll say one. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do interest rate. We'll just keep it as it is. And then we'll do, again, I would link this to wherever you pay your car loan at, but for this demonstration, we'll just do toyota.com. Next is the trigger date, or the like when you have to pay. We'll say on this we have to pay on the 5th of every month. I'm going to select auto trigger and I'll show you what this does here in a second. So auto trigger is on, we'll save the loan. Okay, now we have the loan here. You can see it says car loan Toyota RAV4. Dark mode might be better just so you guys can see it. There you go. Now you can collapse and expand this loan. It'll kind of show and hide a little bit of the information. If you expand it, you can edit any of the data in there. For now, we'll just minimize this. But because I did auto trigger, now on the 5th of every month, this bar will slowly fill up. Now again, this isn't going to automatically pay this for you. So you still have to you have to go to the site and still manually make the payment. Um, we don't have any type of API connection to external websites. I don't want to do that. Um, but anyway, so I just want to keep that in mind. You still have to click on this and then go make the payment for whatever. Just so you can see how this bar fills up, I'm going to show you what happens. If you don't do auto trigger, then you can still do the trigger date. And oh, I forgot to mention, once you have that on there, if you look on the calendar, it'll show on the 5th. It'll have the little icon there of whatever URL you put in. I think if you don't put a URL in, what happens here? Oh, there you go. If you don't have a URL, it'll have this little alert icon here. But we're going to go back and add the Toyota. There. So you can see on the 5th of every month, you'll see that payment icon. And if it was the 5th, this alert icon would be flashing, kind of saying hey, you have a payment today. Okay, back to this. If you click record payment, you can see this fills up a little bit, right? So I just clicked it. I'll click it again. See, it goes to 550. I'll click it again, 825. Click it again, and so on. So you can see how it's filling up there. If you look at the data below, you can see when the payoff date is. So at this rate, we'll pay it off March 2032. Keep in mind I didn't add the interest or anything, so it's not doing any calculations for that. But yeah, it also shows some data for the car loans. And as you can see, it adds this, whatever our monthly payment is right here, this gets added to our monthly expense. So you can see our monthly balance went down from $5,000 to $4,725, right? So if you look at the daily balance here, it takes however many days are in the current month and divides it by that many days, and then that's what the daily balance is. Balance daily. I need to reverse that. Right. Okay, so we added a car loan. Now, with our example, we're a college student fresh out of, got our first job. We're going to need a place, right? So we're going to get an apartment. We'll add, since this isn't a mortgage, this isn't going to be considered a loan, so we're just going to go ahead and minimize. We have our car loan in there. We'll minimize the loan section just to hide it. And we're going to add our rent. So for the entry type for expense, this is going to be just a default expense. We'll call it rent. We'll say our rent is $1,500. Actually, that's probably going to be expensive. We'll say $1,250. It's a crappy apartment. Then I would put your apartment wherever you pay your bill for the apartments, right here. And then with the charge date, most are the first of the month. We'll add that. And then if you look on the calendar, it'll add that as well. So far, we've added the paydays, the car loan, and our rent charge. So our expenses went up to $1,525, and now our monthly balance has reflected that change. So we're at $3,475, which means we could spend $115 a day and still be at a net zero. So let's go ahead and we got our rent in there, we got our car loans. Now the next essential thing is going to be food and gas. Again, you don't have to do the food and gas section like it is set up here. I just think everyone needs food and gas, so it is what I consider a staple. And again, if you want to not display this, you go into settings, expenses, and then you can click uncheck food and gas, and it'll hide it. But for this example, we're going to keep it. So we have $3,475 a month right now to play with. I'm going to budget for, we'll say, $1,250 a month for food and gas. And if you want to, you can specifically, we'll say for food on this one. So this will be specifically for food. And actually, we're going to make this go down to 1,000. So $1,000 a month for food. And because we get our food wherever, we're not going to put a URL in here. So we'll just leave that blank. I think my headset just died. I have to plug this bad boy in. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm going to see if, I don't know if we can still hear. That's all right. We got a whopping 0 viewers. Hell yeah. um, anyway, so we've put $1,000 in here, and as you can see, it's added the 1,000 to our expenses, and it's done the math. So now you can see we have $33 a day for food and gas, with an extra of $82 and 50 cents. So a total of 115 still remains for our daily, how much we could spend a day and still not go broke. I'm going to add some gas in here. We'll make it $250. Again, I'm not going to put a URL in for that because, and right. So now we have budgeted $1,000 a month for food and $250 a month for gas. Keep in mind, because we have a surplus, you don't have to spend exactly, $41 a day. You could cheat if you wanted to have like a day or two, or if you wanted to go out, you could, add these two, like take your full total daily amount if you wanted to. Another feature I'd like to highlight here is this show daily weekly. So if you click this, it's going to show a little bit more information down here below. So you got your food totals, which is going to be $33 a day and $233 a week on food. Then you got $8 a day on gas and $58 a week on gas. And then total is going to be both food and gas combined. And that's what you'll see up here. I kind of combine food and gas just because I don't know. I see them as the same thing. But maybe I should split those up. We'll see. Maybe that could be a patch that we do later. Right, so we've budgeted for $1,250 for food and gas. We have our rent, we have our job paycheck, and now we do have quite a bit of money left over per month. We have $2,225. That's budgeting for food and gas. So that's a lot. So let's we're college, right? So we're gonna want some entertainment. So we're gonna add some subscriptions on here. So the first one we'll do Disney Plus, and I don't know exactly how much it is, but we'll just say $14.99. I would put for the URL here, I would put the exact link where your managed subscription is. So like, for example, Disney Plus, I wouldn't put just Disney Plus right here. Because it's just going to send you, I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, right? But what I would recommend doing is adding the link to where you manage your subscription. So that way, if you ever want to turn it off, you can just click this and it goes directly to where your manage subscription is, and you can easily cancel it if you'd like. So we've got Disney Plus on there. You can see it did the math. It, did all the calculations up there. I believe you can add charge dates on here. So let's say we subscribe to this on the 14th. Then if you look at the calendar, you can see on the 14th it has the Disney logo, and it'll show how much you're being charged. Let's say we also want to add the Mariners, because I'm a Mariner fan. We're going to add the TV. I think it's like $19.99 a month. Might be more than that, but then we'll do Mariners TV. Say the charge date is on the 11th. Save it. There's another one. Then there's the logo. We'll add a couple more here. Let's say, I don't know. We'll do Crunchyroll because it's a college kid. I wish I didn't know what Crunchyroll is, but I do. I think it's like $8.99. There we go. We'll just add those for now. So that's all we'll do. Weird, kind of a weird combination to be honest, but that's all right. If you want to, you can click this show upcoming charges, and if you have any subscription charges coming up, they'll show up right here. I'm going to turn that off though for this. Also, you can change the color for subscriptions if you want to. Totally up to you. Right, so we got some subscriptions, we got our car loan, we got our rent. We still got a bunch of money left over, so I think we're going to add some savings onto here. So we'll do a savings account. We'll put $250 aside to our savings account every day. And we'll say our savings account is a capital one. And then you can kind of see it does some math here, so you can kind of get an idea of how much money you'll have in what year. So if you did $250 a month in 5 years in 2031, you'd have $15,000 saved up, just to kind of give you an idea of where you'll be at. Right. So even after doing 250, we still have $1,900 a month left over. I think we're going to add a goal for, let's do a vacation fund. Oh, actually, first, you know what? We need to get an emergency fund. Emergency funds are always good to have. Make this like an orange color. Goal amount, we'll say, I usually like to take whatever your paycheck is and multiply it by 6. So let's do that real quick. So what is it? 2,500 times, oops. 2,500 times 6 equals 15,000. Is that right? 2,500 times 6. So 6 paychecks equals 15,000. All right, that's fine. So 15,000 would be my goal. With the monthly amount, we'll do 250 just to match the savings. We'll say we have 0, and we don't have anything there. We'll do auto progress this goal every first. And there we go. So we got an emergency fund set up. So now, because I set up a auto date, an auto trigger date on the first, if you see on the first, it'll have, because we don't have a URL there, it doesn't have a logo, so it just defaults to this arrow, which is going to be a emergency fund. And once we hit our date, which it looks like it'll take us 5 years, that's a long time. We might want to, maybe we bump this up to 1,000, although that's going to eat up all of our money. That still will take a while. Let's make our emergency fund down a little bit. Make it like 10. But I would suggest multiply it by 6. That way, if you ever get fired, you have 6, paychecks to survive on. We'll change this to 250, 3 years. We're a dumb college kid, so we'll just save for like 1,000 for an emergency fund. So that'll just take us 4 months to do. And let's say we made an early payment. So in 3 months, we'll have our emergency fund set up. Um, and then let's do a vacation fund. How much do we have? We still have 16. So we're gonna do $500 for our vacation hunt a month with the $2,500 goal. We'll trigger that on the 5th. Make the vacation like a fun little aqua blue color for the beach. There. Dang, we're still doing pretty good right now. We got food and gas budgeted. We got some subscriptions. We got our car loan accounted for. We got rent. We're even saving a lot of money. We got our emergency fund started. We got a vacation fund starting. So in 5 months, we'll have $2,500 to go on a vacation. We're still looking really good with $1,000 a month. If this was real and this was this high, I would probably bump my savings up a little bit to like 500 a month, just because why not? And I would probably invest the rest if this was real. But just for this example, we're almost done here. Go ahead and hide the calculator. Hide our goals. Hide savings. Got $931 left. I mean, honestly, that's pretty good. I think we can call it a day. I'll probably be streaming more. I mean, I know there's so many of you that want to be watching this, but I'm gonna just keep trying to make them until maybe some people want to clean up their budget. But yeah, thanks for watching if you did, and I'll get better at this. This was our first stream ever, so yeah, lots